course, this one more. Oh my god. Another minute, please.
Technical difficulty.
Is the other one working? Is more coming? Do you hear us?
Yeah.
Yeah? If not, maybe just move a little bit closer.
It's okay
Right.
as well, yeah.
Excuse me?
It's good on here as well without the mic.
Can you hear us without the mic? Is that what you're saying? Very good. And switch them off. Let's do it old school. Okay. Well, thank you very much for coming, first of all, to our meet and greet here with Anne Haug, third place in Kona last year, and Lucy Charles, second Kona last year, and as well 2017, second place. Yeah? So maybe a short, quick applause for our two pros here. Thanks for welcoming on the podium. Wonderful ladies. And we're going to be doing it in English, okay? Is that okay with everyone, or do you need translation to Spanish or German, or no? Okay, well, we have published, basically, Lucy has published and we have published questions, and Anne as well, on our Instagram channels to receive a few questions from people from the outside, from back home, from their countries. And I would just start with some of these questions, yeah, which gives you maybe some time to think about a question. And we'll do that for about 10 minutes. Then it's your time for questions and answers. And after that, you get the chance to take your selfie. Yeah, say hello and take a selfie. Okay? Does that sound fair for you? Yeah? Okay, good. Well, then we start with the first question. I think this question is good for both of you. Will you do any Ironmans or triathlons in Asia? You have a lot of fans here. Yeah? Lucy, would you like to reply first?
Well, I haven't got any plan for this year to do any Ironmans in Asia, but I definitely in the future would like to go and race over that way. It's good prep for Hawaii because it's quite humid there. So yeah, I probably will race there at some point in my career. Yeah.
Okay, good. So that's a yes, probably. Yes, probably. Probably yes. That's it, isn't it? Anne, did you plan on doing any Ironmans in the Far East?
As well as Lucy, I haven't planned yet, but why not? I mean, I race a lot of time in Beijing at my short course time, so I like it in Asia, and I definitely will go for that, but maybe not this year, but maybe next year.
Okay, good. That works for me. Any questions to that? Any? Huh? Nothing? Good, okay. There's more here. Is it realistic to do 9 hours, 10 minutes at my first long distance triathlon? Girls? What would you say?
Depends what course you pick.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, Anne, you just answered that earlier on. Maybe you go first?
Yeah, I mean, it depends what background you have, actually. I mean, if you have a cycling background, maybe it should sound easier. If, yeah, why not? Let's give it a go, I would say.
Okay, we're not going to answer, we're not going to tell the people how long you took for your first one, no?
Yeah, it was a 9:15, but I did a little break in between.
That was quicker.
You did a quick break, I remember. The salty pretzels in Frankfurt, no? Good one. Okay, and you saying it is probably? Probable?
I did 12 hours, 16 minutes for my first Ironman, so...
How long?
12 hours, 16 minutes.
That was your first one?
In Ironman UK.
Ironman UK?
Yeah, so...
And then you went straight on to do Ironman Lanzarote, right?
Yeah, that was the next one.
How long did it take that? That's pretty good from Lanzarote. And you came in third that year.
Mhm.
And the following year you won, right?
Yeah, in 9:35.
Wow, not too bad. Okay.
So yeah, 9:10 is pretty ambitious.
Anna, have you done the Ironman Lanzarote?
Not yet, but it's definitely on my to-do list because I think it's the most hilliest course ever. So I probably will do that
Okay.
maybe next year.
Oh. Somebody write that down, please. Okay. This one seems to be for Lucy here, I think. Well, no, maybe due to the sponsor. What isotonic drink do you use?
I use a mix of drinks. I mean, obviously drink Red Bull. I use it more for the caffeine than the isotonic. So I use it as a boost, particularly in my long rides. If I'm doing gym workouts and track workouts, I always use the caffeine. But generally, I'll just use electrolyte and water just to fuel my general swim training and any other sessions.
Yep. Anna, do you have a favourite isotonic drink?
No, normally I go from the water and
Water?
Yeah, water. And maybe sometimes if it's really hot, I put a little bit salt in it. But yeah, normally water. And if it's really hot, then I have a carbohydrate drink. So, but isotonic drink, no, normally not.
Okay.
Why?
Okay. Salt water. Alright. Oh, there's one from Sarah S. Tree Life. Sarah's Try Life. Lucy, are you going to do the Olympics in 2020?
Doubtful for 2020. I'm really want to focus on my Ironman career because it's going so well. And then we'll see. I feel like I'm still young enough to maybe go for the next Olympics, but I'm not done with the Ironman stuff yet. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you plans on going back to the Olympics? You've been at the Olympic Games, haven't you?
Yeah, I did twice Olympic. I raced in London and in Rio, and I still think the Olympics are the greatest event ever in an athlete's life. So, I mean, I wouldn't have thought I would make the London Olympics, so why not 2020? I mean, you never know what happens.
You never know. Do you want to tell us about your results in Rio or London, or shall we just...
Better London, Rio's not so
No,
good. So 11th in London.
11th.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah. Okay. Well, because you said every athlete's goal or biggest event is the Olympic Games. I had a chat with Linford Christie recently, and he said to him it was always the World Championships. He said Olympic Games is great, but he loved more the World Championships.
But the championships are every year or every second year in athletics, but the Olympic Games is just every 4 years, and that's what really counts. So it's different,
sure.
I think, from discipline to discipline. Maybe for tennis player or for golf player, whatever, it's not that important. But for triathletes, it's the race to beat. So yeah, for me it was very important.
Then the next question, right here on the same page. What motivates you? What keeps you pushing? Yeah?
Yeah, I think you need to be quite motivated to do an Ironman triathlon. It's a lot of training. There's definitely days where you wake up and you're really, really tired and you have to remember why you're doing it, and that is ultimately just to try and be the best athlete I can be. I'm still chasing that top spot in Kona, so that drives me every day to try and go one better. Coming second twice. Yeah, so you just got to have a clear goal that you get up and every day you're aiming towards.
Yeah. And obviously the triathlon this morning was motivated, you know.
Of course, that was the A race of the year, so really.
Yeah, amazing. We had probably the strongest relay team ever this morning. We had doing the mini triathlon here. She did the swim. Laura Philipp from Erdinger did the biking, and Anne did the running. So I think they set a new record this morning. Everyone behind there. It was just a good fun thing. Yeah. Anne, do you have any?
I mean, yeah,
tips?
it's pretty much the same. You have your goals, you set your goals, and you have to work towards them. So that's what motivates me every day, because it's an endurance sport very much, and it lives from working every day. So yeah, set a goal and go for it, and that's enough motivation, I would say.
Good. Yeah. So if I may ask, you were pretty surprised with your third place in Kona. You did not expect it, let's say it this way, no? Before you went. We talked before and you said like, well, going there is already a big surprise or a massive achievement, right? So you came third. So where do you see yourself now in 2019? Do you think you can define it a little bit more here?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I don't think that's that was my greatest performance ever. So I think there's still room to improve. And yeah, it would be nice to change the color of the medal. But I mean, there's strong girls outside, so you never know. But first of all, I want to improve my performance and then see what results will come. So the first thing is always give the best race you have in you and improve your performance, and then if you're better than the other, then you will change the color, otherwise you're not.
Good. Well, let's hope you're not going to swap places. Let's hope you're both going to move one up. I'm saying from my point of view now, okay? Greetings to Switzerland. We're moving on, okay? Which is going to be your first race this year? Lucy?
Hopefully Ironman South Africa.
Ironman South Africa. That is when again?
It's early April.
Okay, very good.
I mean, my one was today, and the second
Absolutely. First race was this morning.
And the second one will be the 70.3 Dubai on the 1st of February.
The first of Dubai.
Dubai in 2 weeks. Yeah.
You won Dubai before?
Yes, last year.
Very good. Okay. How many kilometers do you swim per week, bike per week, and run per week? Anna, you go first this time.
I'm not a nerd in that, to be honest. I don't really know.
Shall we call your coach?
Yeah,
He's got all the figures.
Yeah,
no?
I mean, he has all the data because he likes data, but I think I swim around 25 to 30 Ks a week, and I run quite less, so on average I run 60 K, maybe sometimes 70 K, so it's quite less. And
why is that? Because
I never run that much because I mean I used to be quite injury prone, so the impact of the running is quite hard. So I try to get my fitness through biking and swimming, and I just do the quality stuff on the run. And because maybe I'm a natural runner, running is always come easy to me. So I don't
do
need
quite
the
well
mileage.
running.
So I don't need the mileage, obviously, and I just need the quality runs. And I was always good with that, but maybe to improve my marathon performance in an Ironman, maybe I have to get up a little bit more mileage in my leg. So.
Okay. That was run, bike, swim, bike, ride.
Swim, I'm never going to do more than 20k a week. That's kind of my max amount that I would do. Run, probably similar to Anne's. 60, 70k is a pretty good week. And then bike, I don't really go by distance because most of the time when I'm at home I train indoors, so it's more hourly based, which varies quite a lot. Could be, say, like 15 hours on a really good week, or on the indoor trainer. So it's a luxury when I come out here and ride outdoors.
Well, you're here most of the year.
Yeah, it beats the trainer. So yeah, it varies throughout the year quite a lot.
Good. Great. Okay. Let's have a look if there's a few more, and then it's up to you, so get ready. Okay. It's your chance. We had this one. We had this one. What is your least favorite workout?
Ooh. I don't really have a least favourite workout. I think of the three, the swim is normally the one I don't want to do because I've done it my whole life. So I get more enjoyment from doing the new disciplines of the bike and run. So swimming, and it's normally at like 5:30 in the morning, so I don't really enjoy getting up early that much. But once I'm there, I do actually enjoy it because we've got a squad and a good environment to train with. So it's always the fault is worse than the actual workout, I think.
Okay. Anna, and you?
Yeah, it's the same for me. I mean, I don't like the swims if I have an easy day because the head says it's an easy day, and then you have to go in the pool and swim 6K, so it's always like a mental challenge. So that's the workouts I like the least. So yeah, but if once you're in the water and you feel you're in a good rhythm, then it's not too bad. But to get motivated for the session, if you think you have a rest day, then it's always hard. And I don't really enjoy it that much.
Okay. Good. And there's one for Lucy. Why do you swim so damn fast? Very spoken. So.
It probably helps that I started swimming when I was about 8 years old. Swam for about 12 years before I went into triathlon. swam at a very high level, so just missed out on the 2012 Olympics for open water swimming. So I used to probably swim at least 80 kilometres a week as a swimmer, so hence why I don't really want to go and do that anymore. But yeah, I guess it's probably right. I've got a huge background in the sport.
Okay. Well, we could just adjust that to you a little bit and say, like, why do you run so damn fast?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a running background, to be honest. I started with tennis. So, but I always felt that I could run longer and faster than the others. So,
You started with tennis,
yeah.
but you had another career as well, where you're actually world champion in
Yeah,
running.
Indiaka, everyone knows that.
Indiaka, yeah. She's Indiaka world champion. Do you know Indiaka? Yeah?
Yeah,
This is this feather
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah,
you know, with the
you played with
pushing it
volleyball,
over, you just
yeah.
played over a volleyball net.
Oh, right.
Anna's actually world champion in it, yeah. Google it, Indiaka. Yeah. Funny fact. Good. I think that was it. There is a few more questions, but they do not suit. Yeah. You can answer them then privately. Yeah. So, has somebody any questions?
How much low intensity training do you do?
A huge amount is like low intensity, so particularly on the run, I prefer to do low intensity. Bike generally is quite a lot of low intensity. It kind of changes throughout the season. So this time of year is a lot of low intensity, long base miles, and then as I get more into the season, the intensity will creep up, and I'll do a lot more shorter workouts as well.
But right across the board with all of the sports,
Yeah.
is there times when you're doing lots of high intensity with all of them in a week?
Yeah, we can get to that kind of
Yeah.
point, definitely, but the nearer we get to races, a lot of my swim workouts, they're kind of the ones that always will have some high intensity because I go to a squad, so they like to do high intensity stuff. And then, yeah, as I get more into the season, I'll do more track-based workouts that are pretty high intensity, and the same on the bike. So, yeah, I'd say when we've got like 8 weeks away from a race, the intensity really does go up.
Because we're told as amateurs that we do all our training at high intensity, and you get all these books that we're grabbing hold of that are saying that we should be doing this 80-20 split. And when we look at it, and it's not just me, I've got my friends, all of us, we're all the other way. You know, we're doing 80% hard and 20% easy.
Because it's a time problem.
It's a what?
It's a time problem.
Yeah.
Because you get fitter if you do in that time you have for training, you do the hard stuff because you improve much more. Because, I mean, if you want to train your base endurance, you need hours, and you don't have hours if you work normally, so you have a better benefit. I mean, it just, maybe you can peak for one race, and then you have to build up a gap. But if you just do low stuff, you just don't have the time for that.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Well, since I've been doing it, I felt my performances, my own performances were going down. I didn't like the feeling of,
Doing the low intensity?
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I'm 60 years of age now, and I've been doing sport most of my life, and I've always found I'm better when I'm going out max a lot of the times, and my performances are better.
Yeah.
And I mean, last year, even though I performed great at Ironman 70.3 and qualified for the World Championships, my performance early season in Barcelona, where I was training hard, I performed better there, where I came second. When I went to Ireland, my performances were bad when I'd been following this sort of plan of easy work. I got there and I felt all my heart rates were high, and I felt like, though I got a qualification, I still felt that I wasn't feeling that great. And I'm blaming the training that I was doing.
I think
So
when
that's
you're
why I had to
time
ask you
restricted,
girls, you know, what you're doing.
Yeah, I think quality will always beat quantity, and when you're time restricted, definitely.
Okay, thank you very much.
Anyone?
There's a couple of questions on YouTube if you'd like me to read.
Okay, yes, of course, yes.
This is from Les Nottage. Do you know
Okay,
Les? Do
I
you know Les?
very well, yeah.
Because it's a question for Lucy. As I've seen your dancing skills at your wedding, will you be taking dance lessons in the future? Maybe a question to her husband Reece, who's sat at the back there.
Reece is the better dancer of us. Yeah.
I told him.
I mean, if we get the invite for Strictly Come Dancing, then maybe. Never gonna happen. But
Got swing time.
He's had dancing lessons, so.
There's another
Okay,
question from Peter Steele. Hi Lucy, congrats on getting married. Is this a working honeymoon?
Yeah, no. Reece thinks it's the honeymoon. No, we're having a real honeymoon will be after Kona this year. So we can actually enjoy it. It's not a training camp.
Okay. Great, thank you. Okay. Yes?
How do you train and prepare yourself for the back half of the marathon? Because you can't ever do that all in training, that put it all together, it's just too long and too hard before a race. Do you do lots of big bricks?
I mean, I'm not a huge fan of brick sessions, but that probably is the best way to simulate that kind of fatigue that you would have at the end of the marathon. But yeah, I try and run long as well and try and get that fatigue, but yeah, it's something that I probably actually need to work on myself.
What would your longest run be?
Could you repeat the question because they might not have
Yeah,
heard that.
so my longest run, I mean, generally leading into an Ironman is around 30k, and yeah, I wouldn't probably do a lot more than that.
I mean, I did I'm not so long in the sport, obviously, because I come from short to course distance, so I couldn't, make so long runs from 0 to my Ironman. So I did a marathon after the Olympics, and then my just in 6 weeks of training, and my longest run was, I think, a 35k run. And I don't do the brick sessions as well because I think it's too intense. If I do a brick session, it's always like a build run, and it's not longer than 15k's. And normally I do it on the treadmill, to be honest, but I'm controlled. And otherwise, yeah, you can train fatigue if you do a swim set before and then run off the swim for 1 hour. So you can simulate the fatigue and then go for a run. Then the impact from the run is not so high.
Okay.
But I think it's something to get used to. So I'm not in, it's my first year, to be honest, so I can't jump in the big sessions. So I think they will come, but at the moment I don't do that. No. I go for a long run once a week and it's built. Like I start with 20k run, and then next week I start with 25k run, and then the week I have a 27k run, but never do that as a brick. No.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Do you have a question?
Yeah. Lucy, do you have any tips for the next couple of weeks training going to South Africa? Because I go there as well. Like last year, we met one day after the race at Edo Elephant, if you remember. So last year it was quite hard to train in this horrible winter in Germany.
Yeah.
So do you have any tips for the next weeks?
I think obviously it's a sea swim, so you might not be able to do a lot of open water training, but I'd suggest maybe doing some swims in your wetsuit in the pool, maybe just to get used to that feeling again, because it's most likely to be a wetsuit swim. The bike there is obviously quite a bumpy road surface, so it's hard to simulate that, but you might want to try and do more training in the aero position just to get used to that, because you can spend a fair bit of time in the aero position there, so it's getting those long miles in trying to hold that aero position, which if you're indoors training can be more difficult, I find, than if you're outdoors. And yeah, I love the run there, that was my favourite bit, so yeah, just building up the run mileage as well, because obviously it's a marathon at the end, but you kind of get carried on that run, I find, because the support is so good. But yeah, at the moment I'm still building my base for that race as well, so yeah, if you're doing that, then you're in the right place.
Good. Question answered. Okay. Does anyone else have a question? Yeah, the gentleman in the back.
How would a regular training week look like for you? Not in the pre-race phase or post-race phase. How many hours per day do you train? Which kind of sports? Can you give us just an average overview?
Yeah, so generally my typical training week when I'm at home can be slightly different to when I'm here, but at home I train with a swimming squad, so generally I'll try and aim for 3 to 4 mornings a week with the squad, and on average we'd do like 5k per swim. Typically I'll do 4 or 5 runs per week, which is normally a long run and a track run will be in there, and then the other stuff is pretty steady, maybe throwing in some intensity in some of those sessions, but the intense sessions are much shorter. And then the bike is pretty much all on the turbo at home, so that varies from 90-minute sessions all the way up to 4-hour sessions, or an indoor trainer with a mix of intervals. Some of them are just pretty steady, but then again I will throw in some real kind of high intensity intervals in those as well. So generally, kind of an average week would be about 20 hours.
Yeah, my week is slightly different. The training camp as well as back home. Back home I normally start very early because I have our own physiotherapist. She's working at the Olympic Training Center, so we start before her work. So I normally get there by 6:20 and start with like whatever my body says. Maybe I start with a massage, or we do like athletic training, and then I start before breakfast my first. Normally I start with running, normally on the treadmill maybe. And then, yeah, I have 5 weeks, 5 sessions a week in swimming, and I aim for 5 to 6K a session. And yeah, I do all my bike obviously on the wind trainer as well, indoors on the wind trainer. And yeah, it varies from 1 hour 30 up to 3 hour 30. And at the moment I do a lot of like strength work, like in a big gear. And yeah, that's what I always build up. I do base endurance, and then I start with like strength endurance, and the closer the race coming, the more high intensity is mixed in. And with the run as well, I run 4 to 5 times a week, and I have a run of the bike normally where I do maybe 2Ks in race pace, and the rest very easy. I have like some interval running, like today where build runs. Like today I did 3 times 4 minutes, 3 minute 45, 3 minute 30, build up. So get faster every time, and that's 3 times through. And then I have a long run, and per day maybe it's 5 to 6 hours, depends a bit, yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Yes, please.
How do you recover after high intensity trainings?
Recovery after high intensity training. Generally I'll have a big meal quite soon after. I'm very food motivated, so I train to eat. But I have a lot of tools at home, so I actually use Aquilo boots. They're like compression boots that also put in ice water as well, so it kind of simulates an ice bath, so I find that works really, really well. And just generally having a massage once a week I find makes a big difference. If I can, then I'll try and have 2 massages a week to really make a big difference.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I'm food motivated as well. I eat straight after a session, and I have the luxury to have a physiotherapist, so I'm there every day, or sometimes 2 times a day. So because I live in the Olympic Training Center, so I'm very close to her, and she squeezes me in always in between her sessions. And yeah, it's quite luxury, but I'm old. I mean, I'm 10 years older, so I need a little bit of work done on my body. So yeah, otherwise I can't. Yeah, give it intensities. Yeah.
Okay.
And do you prefer training with the squads, or do you train on your own?
Yeah, I mean, I train on my own. Since I moved to Ironman, I train on my own because I'm still living in the Olympic Training Center in Saarbrücken, where the Olympic distance athletes are based. So, and I find it quite helpful because I have to work on my base endurance because I'm a fast athlete, obviously coming from short distance background. So I like to go out and get used to the long sessions, and I definitely want to do it in my own pace. So, but I found it very helpful if you train for Olympic distance, where you need the high speed, that you have a really high quality squat. That was what made me world class when I train in the squat, but I don't think it's probably necessary for me at the moment to do my long course training in a squat or in a group. Of course, it would be nice to have someone in the swim, or it's easier. You can motivate yourself a bit better. But I think for me, I have a better performance if I do everything on my own. At the moment, maybe it changes, but at the moment, I quite like it to do everything on my own.
Yeah, I'm really lucky. I have my husband to train with pretty much every single day, which has its pros and cons. We also train with a squad, which I enjoy. I think for the swim particularly, it helps. It's a good motivator, and it keeps it a little bit more social, where swimming can probably be quite a lonely sport. But I also agree to the benefits of doing the solo training as well, particularly for an Ironman, where you spend so much of the day on your own, inside your own head, so you have to get used to being comfortable with your own mind and training your mind as well as your body. So I prefer to have a mix of the two in my training.
And I have one more question, if that's okay. Why
One
did
more, yeah.
you choose triathlon, long and medium distances?
Could you repeat that?
Why did you choose triathlon? You come from a swimming background, and why did you went to triathlon and to this kind of distances, not an Olympic distance, for instance?
Yeah, so why did I move into triathlon and specifically long distance?
Yeah.
It was kind of like a spur of the moment thing for me and Reese. We just done a swimming race up in Scotland, and we'd done really, really badly in the race. We went back to the hotel and we just signed up for an Ironman the next year. We thought, how hard could it be? We both owned mountain bikes. We thought we could do it on that. Soon learned that you definitely can't do an Ironman on a mountain bike. I mean, thankfully, Reese has got a sports science degree, so I don't think I would have.
You figured out you can't do it with a mic.
That's what we needed it for. No, I think that really helped us. I definitely wouldn't have been able to finish that race without Reese's knowledge. So we were only ever going to do one Ironman and then just go back to work and be done with it. But we kind of got hooked and enjoyed it, and then figured actually if we gave it a better shot, we might be able to do pretty well at it.
Which year was that?
2015 was the Ironman we did in Ironman UK.
From not knowing you can't use a mountain bike in 2015 to second in Kona 2017, right? It's quite a step up, isn't it? And you, Anne?
Yeah, I mean, I started with obviously tennis, and my dad is a sports teacher, so he always wanted me to try every kind of sport. So I played volleyball and modern pentathlon, and I did pretty much everything. I played basketball and badminton, and obviously Indiaka, and yeah, I hated always to swim, but when I was 19, I definitely wanted to do a triathlon, because my former boyfriend, he was doing a triathlon, and he said, oh, why not? It's pretty cool to do triathlon. So I think I hate water and I hate swimming, and I couldn't swim. So I practiced swimming when I was 19 for maybe 3 months in a pool to get my 1,500 meters freestyle done. And then I signed up for a triathlon. And yeah, I did my first triathlon, I finished third, and then I was like motivated. It was kind of a hate laugh, and always is with the swim. So because I don't have any swimming background, I learned everything via YouTube videos and whatever, watched other people swimming. Yeah.
Now she's watching Lucy here.
No, I'm watching
And I recall, you have won a world championship or Olympic in relay, wasn't it? Did you? What was this?
The
again?
gold medal, yeah.
The gold medal, yeah.
Yeah.
That was Olympic distance
Yeah.
relay.
Now it's a super sprint.
Super sprint.
Yeah, the world
Who was in
championship.
your team?
Jan Frodeno, Anja Knapp, Franz Löschke, and myself.
And that was back when?
In 2013 in Hamburg.
2013.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, you have more questions, James?
There's a couple more on YouTube.
YouTube watchers. Okay.
From Simone Inez Lackenbauer. Question for both. What are the top 3 factors beginners should work on when they want to improve their run and their swim? What 3 factors, if you want, for beginners?
So swim, I think this will be the same for both disciplines. Consistency is key. There's no point doing a swim every single day in 1 week and then not swimming the next. So swimming's a really weird one where it comes down to the feel of the water, so consistency is really important. It's such a technical sport, so definitely try and nail the technique before you try and swim loads and loads of meters. And the next one I would say is get a squad environment, because that will really boost your swim fitness, and you'll probably have a coach that can look at your technique. And that will probably make you more consistent as well, because you've got an environment to go to and other people to be social with.
Yeah, I think the run can be the crucial one, because the impact is quite so high on the bones. So better don't run too much in the beginning, but have a consistency, obviously, and focus a lot of your core work and strength work, because running is not effect of strong legs is you can run fast if you have a strong core, because the legs are just the moving part and not the holding part. So better squeeze one session in the runs and focus on your core strength. Then it makes you obviously a better runner, and consistency is the key.
Okay.
Like in every sport.
Simone has another question.
Yeah.
During the race, how do you power through the parts where it really gets hard, like at kilometre 30 in the marathon? Do you ever think about giving up?
I've never thought about giving up, but purely because I kind of recall on the really tough sessions, which are normally when I'm out here at Club La Santa and riding around this island. There's some really dark moments normally on the bike here, and I always kind of have like my top 5 most hideous sessions that I managed to get through, and I think about kind of all the hours that I put in to be at that race, that kind of no matter what happens, I'm going to finish the race. Even if I'm having a bad day, I want to always finish, because I kind of owe it to myself for the amount of work I put in to be there.
Yeah, I think it's a bit different from short course to long course, because on long course, I think it's quite normal to have like your down phases, and then you just have to wait and focus on things so you can influence and hope, or it will come a better hour. So it's always an up and down, and I think it's quite normal. So you just have to wait, stay focused, concentrate on your technique, try to get your mind concentrated on different things. So maybe think about a poem or sing a song in your head, just like switch your brain to other things. In short course it's quite tough, because I mean you're always on the edge of the pain, you know, and yeah, you always think, oh, I can't do any other step, I have to break down right now, but you always have to push. I mean, I think once you give up, you tend to give up in every race, so I never ever want to give up and break that, go over this edge. So, and I mean, if you don't have a bad day, then it's a respect to the other athletes, and they are allowed to beat you at that race, and yeah, it's kind of a respect thing, not to drop out, even if you have a bad race. So do your best.
Just 2
We
short.
got one more.
One more.
Yes.
This is a guy called, I think it's a guy, sorry, Jez Woods, sounds like a guy, Jez Woods. As a new age grouper, coming in top 20 in 70.3 and 140.6, I'm looking to qualify for the 70.3 Worlds. What would be your top bit of advice for getting a podium spot? Thanks, Lucy. See you in Epping Forest.
You've got to work hard. Simple as, really. You can never really base yourself on positions, because you never know who's going to turn up and how well they're going to race. So ultimately it's got to be about your own performance. You just got to dedicate yourself, work hard day in, day out, and hopefully you've done more work than the other guys you're up against on the day.
There you go, Jez. You've been told.
Yeah, I would say that's a good advice, yeah.
Yes, you go with that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I go with that.
Well, then we'll have one last question, okay? And then we'll
cadences
continue.
are you riding when you're racing?
Oh, my cadence is quite low. I think around 70. So yeah.
See?
It's easier for
It's a
heart rate.
grinder.
Yeah, I like the strength stuff. Yeah, so I think I'm
Do you
more
train
fast.
like that as well?
Sorry?
If you're training indoors, are you working on?
Now, if I'm indoors and I do an easy session, I'm around 90 to 100. It's quite strange, but as soon as I'm outdoors, I tend to go down like 70, 75. Yeah.
Same as me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think mine's fairly similar, and I think lower cadence is more suited to Ironman distance. I've played around with different cadences, but I always tend to go back to that kind of lower cadence. I think I prefer to churn quite a big gear. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cheers.
Well, thanks for the questions. Thanks for the questions from the YouTube viewers. Okay. We say goodbye to the